Hello everyone, my name is Paul. I work for a company called Micrographics in Cape Town, South Africa. We are an Autodesk partner, and today I'd like to do a video about the Autodesk Construction Cloud and the ability for us to filter our file names and how it is that we manage the information. Sometimes we've got thousands of files in one folder, and we'd like to speak a bit around that. First, let's consider why we have the situation in the first place. Well, we have a cloud platform that is synchronizing down to our hard drive via the Autodesk Desktop Connector. And in fact, the Autodesk Desktop Connector is one of the first apps that you should install to synchronize with your hard drive. This is synchronized down into your C drive users, your name, in my case Paul Storm, DC for Desktop Connector, AZC Docs, that's the cloud platform. Our hub is called Micrographics Cloud. The project is called MFX 001. It's then within project files. This you cannot change, you have to have that, unfortunately. Then B for work in progress, and then the folder for the team. So that already adds to the file name. And if we consider what we have available for our length of file paths, then we see we are limited. Even if you disconnect it in the BIOS, it's still going to be operational. Alright, so what this says is that we have to have a file length. So here you can see the Microsoft file path length limit of 260 characters for files and 247 for folders. Right? And then we need to keep that down as much as possible. So Desktop Connector version 16. Now can you see the version that you're running? You will go over here to your Desktop Connector and see in your settings, you can ask tell me in help about. This is version 16.7.1.2164. So this is at least 16. Now it says Autodesk Desktop version 16 displays the full folder path and adds a folder to the path. The pathing will be different and can potentially trigger the long path warning. Alright, so for this reason we adopt the ISO 19650 standard. That's the most ubiquitous one. And of course that we find within the settings within our naming standard. But in any case, this is what it comes down to. Within the settings, there we can see that we use metadata fields. Right? And the advantage of enforcing this metadata onto a folder is on the upload, the fields, in this case, you can see, for instance, some of the fields that we left out over there, the volume, the level, the type, the project, the originator, the number, and the role. Okay, if we switch everything on, now you can see how just by uploading the file, the metadata gets populated from the file name. So there's our volume and system, there's our level and location, the type of file, and the project number, the originator, the number of the file, the role, and the status. And in addition to that, when it comes to the status, that's metadata that we fill in manually, the classification and the revision. Those are all manual inputs. And then we end up with the version and some further ones that are used within markups and issues and so on. There's the minor revision that we use instead of the actual revision code. Alright, so just FYI, in the work in progress folders, what I do is I leave the status code and the revision as it would be within the shared folder, and that's because when we share packages we can't update those codes before sharing. That's the limitation that we work with. Now when we search, we can use modifiers. So over here you can see the search and filter of files. When you do search and filter, you can also save searches. Right? You can search via the current folder or all subfolders if you want. You can even look in the content, and that's going to take some more time. There's the types of file, the file types in the current versions, and then we've got the search field and then we can search within the search field using or and not. There's even an example of the file must have roof and either north or south, and that will return all the files based on that. Then we've got the wildcard. So this is anything with A and then anything after that and 09. All right, so that will include 1, 21, and that number there. Okay, so that is what we can use with our search filters. You can also search the search filter. So here is, let's try it out. Here is our fields over here. If we search every field, then there's the search and filter box. We click on that to open. There's our saved searches, and there's just normal searches. Right. So over here we can say current folder. Yes, I don't want to search subfolders, and I don't want to search the content. So then under the types, what have we got? Either folders or files. I could say, well, I'm just interested in the files. It's interesting that you can search for folders, the file types. Okay, let's see if I can navigate and find any DWG files, for argument's sake. Let's search. Alright, so there you can see I've got one drawing file, and that's because I can search the drawing file. I can clear that filter and search, and there's nothing there. Alright, so can I save that? If I go DWG, can I save that? And then I say save search. Then I can call that filter by files DWG. I'm happy with that. Okay, save. Okay, there's my saved searches. Filter files by DWG. So let's go to saved searches and say, all right, let's run that. And then we can see it saves searches, finds my DWG. So we could ask questions like, let's clear this, clear, clear all, search, saved searches, it's still there. All right, so let's try something. Let's try and find in the description anything with PRJ dot and something else. Let's try delivery. So there we should find multiple files. So if we find PRJ dot and delivery. Let's try that. Alright, so there we can see it found PRJ and delivery, and so we can search through the description. What if we can find anything that is a method statement? Just search anything that is dash ms dash. Let's search. So that we can find all the method statements. Okay, so that is how we would go about filtering through the metadata that we extracted from the file name, as well as any other criteria. And of course we can also save that into our saved searches and run that anytime that we would like. So I hope that helps you with your Autodesk Construction Cloud, your naming standard, keeping the file names small and then searching through that folder. Until next time, enjoy the Autodesk Construction Cloud.